It's time to live. It is time to live. My name is Nico, and I'm back with another video. I go by Chosen NC, and I just want to say that it's time to live. It's time to live the life that you dreamt of, the life that you see in your visions each and every day. No more putting off your dreams, no more setting aside your goals to fit a life that is not even for you. No more shrinking to a size that doesn't fit you anymore. It's time for you to expand. It's time for you to live. It's time for you to become and embody the being that you truly are, to live to your infinite potential, to actually love yourself and align with whatever it is that you want. I know that we can let the outputs from everyone else affect how we feel about ourselves, but it's time to have that internal validation, to have that internal knowing, the trusting within your path, the trusting within yourself that everything is always working out for you and you are always making the right decisions for yourself. Even when the world feel like it may be against you, when it's really not, it's because of you following your own path. When you follow your path and you take a route that is different from the traditional paths of life, it's going to be unorthodox. It's going to come with a lot of people judging you and a lot of people mistreating you because of their own neglected dreams, their own neglected feelings within themselves, and the internal conflicts that stem from you going after what you want to do within life. And this should have no effect on you. You know, not to say that you shouldn't not to say that you shouldn't be able to listen to what other people have to say if they're really trying to help you, but don't absorb what people have to say. Just observe, listen to what people have to say, but don't necessarily take in the information, because not every information is good information. Some people can only say things to try and sabotage you and stop you from really just living out your destiny, when that can never happen. It only happens if you allow yourself to, if you talk yourself out of your own path. And this comes from not experiencing and expressing the wholeness of who you are. When you try to live an incomplete life, when you try to neglect a version of yourself, a half of yourself, or whatever aspects of yourself, it's going to cause you to feel lost within life. It's going to cause you to stray away from your journey and stray away from who you really are, because you're living a life that isn't fulfilling to your authentic nature. It's not capturing the whole essence of yourself. And while it may fit a perspective of life that you want to live, a perception that you may want people to take on about you, it's not really going to leave you fulfilled in the end. In the end, external validation will always fade because there is no substance within that external. The physical is just the physical. It has no real substance other than the substance that we give it, other than the intent that we give it, other than the choices that we give it. So it's all about how we feel about ourselves internally, so we can create a shift within our physical to reflect who we really are. Not to make the physical validate us, but to live our life knowing that we are living in our truth, knowing that we are living a fulfilling life, sustaining a life that is truly for us, and not just living to survive. You got to get over this mindset of grinding each and every day, doing so much, giving so much of yourself that you aren't able to receive. And I feel like I just had to go through this recently, not necessarily that I was in a survivalistic mindset, but in a mindset where I felt like I had to show up each and every day. I felt like I had to post videos every day. I had to just do it repeatedly, just do it reoccurringly, and just put out my best work each and every day. And although this has built consistency and a discipline within me, it'll only leave you drained if you're not giving it back to yourself. If you're not giving it back to yourself, and if you're not expressing the true love that you give in these videos to yourself, it's ultimately going to leave you feeling depleted. And this is a sad fact that some people have to go through. And for me, I don't feel like I necessarily shied away from giving myself love, but I just shied away from allowing myself to rest, because I felt like I had to show up within my life. When everything that I want within life, it comes from me just being me. You got to understand that just by you being yourself, just by you holding your presence, just by you loving yourself and just embodying who you are, everything is going to come to you naturally. But you have to be in that stillness for it to come to you. We can be giving so much of ourselves, giving so much of ourselves to others. And what do we give to ourselves? Nothing. We give ourselves the bare minimum. And we give ourselves the bare minimum because we have given so much of ourselves that we have nothing left to give for ourselves. So it's time that you just pour more into yourself. Prioritize your emotional well-being and your mental health. and just believe in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, when you bet on yourself, and you trust in your path, and you trust in your intuition, even when it defies logic, even when it defies the physical limitations of life, you got to understand that your intuition will always be right. Your intuition is never going to lead you astray. It's never going to lead you to anything that is going to be detrimental to you. Although it may seem like a bad event within your life, although it may seem like a good experience within your life, it's not necessarily any of those things. You got to move away from a polarity mindset, duality mindset, thinking that everything is just good or bad. While there will always be two energies that are somewhat relative and parallel to each other, it doesn't make them opposites. It just means that they coexist on the same spectrum, allowing each other to observe each other and allowing each other to exist, not allowing each other to have control over one another, but just existing, witnessing the beauty within it all. Because everything is beautiful and everything stems from love. When you think about good and bad, you can make it seem like it's the opposite. You can put these things together against each other when it's not really something against each other. It's something way beautiful, and there's always something to be learned with in what you would call the good and bad. It's not necessarily a good or bad experience. It's all about the experience. You got to stop putting labels on yourself and stop putting labels on your identity. You got to break out the translucent box that you call your identity, because a translucent box is something that you can see on, and when it has light in it, it's something that can only reflect what is truly within yourself. It's something that isn't necessarily capped. It's not something that's necessarily boxed in, something that you can break out, something that the lid isn't closed in, but you portraying and projecting someone else's illusion, someone else's ideas onto your own physical body, onto your soul, is going to leave you feeling depleted. You're going to look at so much ways, so much titles to reveal the aspects of yourself that you neglect all aspects of yourself, because you're trying to focus on one. You're trying to focus on one aspect of yourself that you just let go of the entire essence of who you are. And this is why you got to get rid of the identity labels that you call yourself and just be, just exist as who you are. You got to exist as who you are and just love the life that you are living, knowing that you are living your life to the fullest each and every day. And if you aren't, start living life. It's time to live. Now is the time for us to live. Sometimes we have to go through what I would call off seasons. We have to go through like periods of discomfort, periods where we step away from the game. We step away from the game of life and really just go into solitude, go into hermit mode to really just rejuvenate ourselves, to readdress ourselves, to figure out what we need to do to recalibrate ourselves for this next chapter of our life. And this next chapter of your life is going to be the most beautiful season within your life, because you are the transformation. You are the blessing. You are everything that you say you are. You are everything that you think you are. All of your beliefs, all of your knowings is shaping your life, because you are that you are. You just are. You are a beautiful divine being, and you have to recognize the talents within yourself. Recognize the beauty within your presence alone. You don't have to do anything in order to earn the life within your life. You don't have to earn the life within your life. You can attract the life within your life. You don't have to do so much. You don't have to grind each and every day. You don't have to go into such a level where you start draining yourself just to live a life that is truly for you. It's about you understanding that just from you being you, you deserve it all. And you absolutely deserve it all. You deserve it all. Just by you being yourself, just by you spreading the joy within your life, by you smiling right now within this moment, you deserve it all. You deserve to live an abundant life, because you are abundance within itself. You deserve to live a beautiful, wealthy life. You deserve to live a life that is the most fulfilling life that you can ever possibly get, because that is who you are at the base of your core. It's about returning to the fullest essence of who we are, understanding that we have always been whole, understanding that we have always been complete, understanding that we have always been ourselves, remembering the true essence of ourselves, understanding that neglecting a part of me is neglecting my soul. Neglecting a part of me is neglecting who I came here to be. I came here to express myself. I came here to love. I came here to be myself. So if I'm neglecting a part of myself, that's me not staying true to myself. That's me not honoring a contract that I made with myself and a contract that I made with life, to always show up as myself, not to show up as anyone else but me, not to take on anyone else's ideas, not to take on anyone else's illusions, but be so deluded within my own manifestations, to be so deluded within the light that I see for myself that it has no choice but to manifest, because it's all about the feeling. You got to understand that with all our manifestations, it isn't about any other thing other than the feeling. This planet Earth is a feminine planet. And because it is a feminine planet, it deals with intuition, it deals with feelings, and it deals with emotions. So you have to emotionally connect with whatever it is that you see fit, whatever it is that you see in your visions, with whatever it is that you see within your manifestations. You have to connect with it on a deep emotional level for it to manifest, and just allow it to come to you. Stop thinking that you have to do so much. I feel like this masculine aspect of ourselves, where we feel like we have to do in order to get what we want, is holding us back, because we aren't embracing the feminine aspects of ourselves, which is receiving, which is allowing it to come to us, which is allowing it to be effortless, which is allowing it to just flow like water. You got to be as fluid as water. Keep your body fluid. You got to move around. Just allow yourself to just flow with life, because when you flow with life, you're not going away with the waves of the current. You're flowing with it, and it's allowing you to push you further on your journey. When you try to move further away from the waves and you try to go on your own path within these waves, it's going to push you back, and you're just going to be led back on your journey, just coexisting in reoccurring cyclical cycles within your life that will never prove you anything or never give you anything other than the depletion of your soul. And you got to understand that it's your time to live. No one else is going to live your life for you. You got to think of it as this. You're watching a performance, the most beautiful performance within this world, but you're only seeing it from afar. You're the one in the crowd when you know you should be up there performing for everyone, when you know you should be in the spotlight, when you know you're supposed to be seen by the masses. You know that you're supposed to be up there, but when you constantly reaffirm to yourself and reassure to yourself that that's not me, that's not who I came here to be, you're just neglecting and you're pushing off your true destiny. You're pushing off your true path. And until you further align with that knowing within yourself that you are meant to be seeing, it is never going to happen. You got to know it so deeply that you are the performer. And yes, you are performing a beautiful song. You are creating a beautiful life for yourself. You are making the most beautiful frequencies within this world by you expressing yourself. And this is when you take the lead and you become the performer within your life. You are leading the performance, because the performance is really your life. The stage is you allowing yourself to get on the stage. You allowing yourself to just embody who you are, to express who you are. Allow yourself to be received. Allow yourself to be given to others. Allow yourself to be experienced. It's all about the experience. You got to understand that through it all, we came here to experience life in the best way possible. So why not do it to the fullest? Why not give it our all? If there's anything that you want to do within your life, you got to do it. Even when things feel uncertain, even in the unknown. And I feel like I really just had to fall in love with the unknown. I really had to fall in love with the unknown, and you should fall in love with the unknown, because there is so much beauty within the uncertainty within our life. It allows the universe to do what it needs to do. It allows everything to coincide and align with the divine orchestration of your life. It allows all your destinies, all your timelines to coexist and to converge into the best timeline ever created for yourself. When you release the control, when you surrender and you trust within yourself, you trust and know that everything is always working out for you, it creates the most beautiful life for yourself, because you're not putting the pressure on yourself to do. You're not putting the pressure on yourself to show up each and every day, and show up in a way where it feels like it's repetitive. Show up in a way where it feels like you're not becoming a true version of yourself, where you feel like a shadow of the version of yourself who you used to be. And this also comes with releasing old versions of yourself that no longer serve your purpose, and releasing it with love. Not releasing it just because you feel like you have to get to this next season of your life, but because you want to become a better person. Not saying that you aren't the best person that you are right now, but saying that we're always evolving within every point within our life. Although our soul is eternal, although our soul is infinite and it holds all the knowledge, our human bodies in our physical form always has to evolve. We always have to become a different person. I feel like for each and every day within my life, I became a different person. If you were to compare me to who I was a day ago, I would not be the same person. And that's because growth is not always going to be linear, but it's always going to be that you're improving in some way, even if it means that you're going down or that you're going up within any way. It always means that you're improving within every way, because the decisions that you make, the choices that you make, are actively proving a role within your life. They are actively becoming an active participant within your life that is just providing and contributing to your life, contributing to the ultimate creation of the most vivid, beautiful creation within the universe. And I just want you to know that you are the greatest reward. You are the greatest reward. You are the greatest creation ever created. And the universe just wants you to notice, your ancestors just want you to notice that they are everything that you have been becoming, everything that you embody. They value you so deeply. They love you so deeply. And it's because you're not afraid to be yourself. Through all the timelines of your ancestors going through what they had to go through, you are the one that is breaking out. You are the one who has chosen yourself to go against the system, to go against things that no longer align with you, to go against the paradigms, the old paradigms that only keep you in a limited mindset. And you are actively doing everything that you need to do. And you are the greatest reward that this universe has ever gotten, because of who you are. You are the universe within yourself. You are the universe experiencing itself, and you are the most beautiful creation. And you got to look at yourself like this, because it is truly a blessing to have you here. And I really do love you. I value you. And I just want to say that you are the blessing. You are the miracle. And it's time to live life. Peace.